2023 will be the year of World War III. 322, and of course 2023, skull and bones, basically spelled backwards. Here's why. Before you think this is hyperbole and that this isn't possible, let me remind you that most people I knew said that it was impossible that Russia would invade Ukraine in a very, very deadly war that's been going on for the better part of a year now and has not ended at all and has cost hundreds of thousands of people's lives, allegedly, and basically created such an uproar in the energy markets and supply chain. It hasn't been this bad since the Cold War. So before you say that World War III is impossible and this just seems like excited rhetoric, I'm just asking you for a minute, not only to like and share this video, but to contemplate what potentially could be happening next. And I'm going to get into some hardcore facts of why I believe that not only will the tensions escalate with what I believe is the imminent invasion of Taiwan by China, but I'm going to cite a very specific argument that Alex Karp, chief executive of Palantir, who was put in place by Peter Thiel, one of the world's billionaires that fights algorithmic warfare on your behalf, which is the New Manhattan Project and the war being fought between China and the United States of America. This is what he has to say. He says the U.S. and its allies are fighting indirectly by providing Ukraine with what Alex Karp, chief executive of Palantir Technologies, calls, quote, the power of advanced algorithmic warfare systems. He says these systems are now so potent that he recently told the Washington Post that they equate to having tactical nuclear weapons against an adversary with only conventional ones. Take a moment to ponder the implications of that. Now, of course, if we go back in history, World War I, World War II, we saw the Cold War with Russia. That was a time of actually like great American wealth. That was a time when there was actually American prosperity. We didn't have $31 trillion worth of debt. We didn't increase the money supply 3 times its actual supply levels in just a couple of years. We didn't have a China very, very pissed off sitting on near $1 trillion worth of treasuries that could simply hit the sell button tomorrow and cause a dollar collapse here in the United States and a run on the banks and capital controls, which I believe is going to happen. So this new war is very much a technological one, a 5th generation style warfare event, but it also has very much to do with real resources. So let's talk about something very much overlooked by the general population that doesn't study geopolitics on a regular basis. China and the Chinese state controls and manufactures and has access to about 70% or more of the world's rare earth minerals. These are the direct resources that go into what? This 5th generation warfare, computer chips, your cell phone, the Tesla stock that's collapsing again today, down 11%, hitting a new 52-week low, off like, 70% or something in the last 12 months or so. This war, and this is why Taiwan is such a focus for China. Because during a wartime event, what do you think is going to happen to the manufacturing of these core level advanced weapon technologies? They will come to a halt. So we've seen a situation created by the United States government of intentional supply shocks, intentional hyperinflation, where they can do nothing essentially at this point outside of print more debt, print more bailouts, and I believe move into a dovish stance in 2023 and start cutting interest rates again. And they've also made Russia and Vladimir Putin an international pariah that is now being forced to conduct all of its business solely with China outside of the US petrodollar. And of course, this is why we've seen Saudi Arabia and OPEC nation states shun the United States and the westernized system and what used to be the dominant status of the US dollar, which is currently backed by nothing, and a move to the East, Asia, and principally China, the new rising state. So what makes people think in an era of deglobalization, a collapsing system, and a new bipolar, multipolar order of various currencies in an event with AI rising, artificial intelligence basically taking away all the jobs, and a replacement of the current old model. How does anyone expect this not to result in the exact same rhyme that we've seen with previous world wars? And I would argue this is exactly what it's boiling into, and it's exactly what's going to happen next. And it would justify even more bailouts, and it would justify even more inflation, which is what we're going to get. Because again, the whole goal, the whole agenda item of wars is to control populations, resources, move into new types of supply chains, and set up a new system for the new century. It has nothing to do with U.S. dominance or supremacy at all, because we have politicians that have completely mismanaged the United States of America. I mean, look, I'm not even being party line here, but I don't think that this would have happened under Trump at all. I don't think Russia would have even invaded Ukraine. I don't think that would have happened. We wouldn't be talking about a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. And I'm not siding even with one political party, but we have a U.S. nation state, which is incredibly, incredibly weak. And this is why they're moving everybody. People say, well, Christopher, people aren't going to allow this to happen. There would be problems in the streets if there's more inflation and, this picks up again, people can't afford, housing and rents and food and energy and all these kinds of things. Well, people just won't stand for it. I don't believe that at all. And secondly, that's why they're introducing UBI. Have you heard of it? It's called Universal Basic Income for the peasants. So they can dole that out to everybody they just ripped off and basically created the largest wealth transfer in world history, which is going to continue to play out in 2023. I mean, guys, this is why Blackstone's BREIT, the BREIT, remember I warned you about this in October, on the verge of collapse, zero liquidity. This is one of the largest institutional commercial real estate funds in the world, just got a bailout. Blackstone did, from the University of California, got a $4 billion cash infusion in a terrible deal where they're paying 11.25% over a 6-year holding period of its investment hold so that they could get a $1 billion backstop. Because again, the whole system is an economic, financial, and arguably spiritual collapse. And this is what they want. This is the new system. This is the new design. These are biological, quantum-based, quantitative, algorithmic wars that are being fought now. And what's going to happen next? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen next. If it's an algorithmic war of quantum-based computer systems and AI, like Alex Karp, he should know, Peter Thiel, these guys should know, that's currently being fought. And this is just like a new Manhattan Project or what conventional nuclear weapons and their capabilities used to be. Then what does Vladimir Putin have to fall back on outside of his conventional nuclear weapons? Nothing. And so we'll either see this move into an armistice at some point, or the collapse possibly of the Russian government, which I don't really see happening, or maybe the passing or removal of Putin. I mean, I guess that's a possibility, but he seems stronger than ever. They seem to be winning in Ukraine, honestly. They've taken more territory. The lines have been drawn. They have more area, not just the Crimean Peninsula. So how is this going to change? It's not. So this is the biggest cover-up, and this is the biggest risk for 2023. And all of you tuning in will be living through it this year. 223. 322. World War. Breaks out to a new 6-month high today. I highly encourage you guys. We just got our 2023 sovereign mints in just in today, earlier this morning, January 3rd, 2023. Get your sovereign mint silver today. Place the order. Gold is set to skyrocket. So is silver in 2023. I think we could see as high as 2,500, 5,000 an ounce. Silver is set to soar. Click the link below and get into precious metals now and pick up your 2023 sovereign mints at amtvgold.com. just in stock today. That's 2023 Sovereign Silver American Eagles. Get them and place your order. That's amtvgold.com. Be vigilant and get tangibles like gold and silver today.